Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Sarah, coming at you again with another reaction video. Today, we're going to go ahead and review something I didn't really think of reviewing until I kind of saw it here live while I'm on streaming right now. I'm going to go ahead and watch The Unreviewable One by Theneedledrop, which, you know, the bald head man, you know. I know he did not like Vultures 1 from Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign, which is something that I did love. I think it was a great project and I enjoyed it. I kind of do wish I did react to it, but unfortunately I did hear the first live show when he was in Miami, and so I wasn't really kind of, you know, new to it, so it kind of been a little bit of ingenuine and stuff like that. So I'll definitely see for part 2 and for Vultures 2 and 3, but for part 1, I mean, it's kind of like, but it's like, if I would have got some of those, it would have been great. Hearing this Carnival for the first time was just so different. But yeah, obviously we know Anthony Fantano did not like Vultures, and I've seen some people say it's not really a review, it's more so just him coming at his character. And, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, Kanye has been very questionable over, you know, the past few years, and I don't blame anybody, you know, for disliking Kanye for who he is and like what he said. You know, I mean, anybody has a right to not, you know, not follow somebody over certain things. It's like, I get it. Me personally, it's like, you know, I do understand, and it's like, I don't think it's right, but I do kind of, you know, just listen to the music, and that's really it. You know, I know the guy obviously has, you know, he has, you know, some issues. I don't want to guess mentally diagnose him or anything, because it's like, besides his bipolar disorder and everything like that, don't really know what else is wrong, you know, could be wrong with him. But he's a free-spirited man, and that's all I'll say about that. And, you know, as a free-spirited man, you know, sometimes you're gonna be a wild guy. But I also have seen people call out Anthony Fantano for being pretty hypocritical on how he feels about Kanye due to previous and past reviews that he's done with, you know, people who are actual Nazis and bigots and have done hate crimes and stuff like that. So I don't really know too much about that. I've just seen what I've said. You know, I take a lot what I see with a grain of salt, because, you know, a lot of people can, you know, just lie about things on the internet. I mean, it's the internet, you know, you can't believe everything. But I'm definitely, you know, willing to listen to see what he has to say and, you know, hear his opinion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be Unreviewable One by Theneedledrop, aka Anthony Fantano. Let's go.
This is completely unreviewable trash, and here's why. Question.
Oh, damn, okay, just straight into it.
Of a music review in the first place, I can say, at least in terms of my own intent, that when I do a music review, I hope to achieve a couple of things. One, give the viewer pause and cause them to think about why it is they do or don't like the piece of music or art that I'm doing an overview of. Or two, excite people to give the music that I'm talking about a try. Those are the two things I want to do. Problem, neither of those goals are possible in any scenario that involves reviewing this album. Newsflash.
Well, I kind of disagree with that in a sense, because him kind of bringing this into the light and even making a video on it is kind of not endorsing in a way, but like maybe kind of pushing people to go be like, well, what's so bad about it? Like, you know, let me go listen to this person's album. Like, even if, you know, because it's like, hey, you might be putting on somebody that is hateful. If you think Kanye is a hateful person and is terrible, you know, bigoted person of the world, then you could be honestly putting other bigoted people onto him and stuff like that, which honestly you don't want in a fan base. You definitely don't want that in a fan base. It's like, that's not what you would want. I don't think Kanye would care personally. I just don't see that's like he's the type of person that would care. But I don't think making a video about the album is kind of getting your point across of, well, I don't want to review something and make you think, oh, why do you like this music, and or endorse this person to listen to it? Because I think it kind of leans more to the latter of, if you're not going to review it, it's probably going to push a lot more people onto it realistically if you make a video, especially with a big platform. But I don't know, let's see what else you got to say.
Since 2022, Kanye has made it his mission to go full-on anti-Semite, spouting insane conspiracy theories, talking about how he loves Hitler, and at some point, I think he realized how much he fucked up with
all of which I don't think is
so
okay. You shouldn't do that.
Own this total
terrible
dumpster
things.
fire he's created and boast about how people think he's anti-Semitic now, because yeah, they do. Even if he does genuinely apologize and change his behavior past this point, his public image is forever altered bothered by all of this. I mean, you platformed a booger-eating white supremacist and have guys like this repping for you on a highway overpass.
That's not okay. You can't.
Like Kanye is capable of closing.
It's kind of like, I don't even want to get into this, but like politics-wise, it's like politics, kind of like with the Trump stuff and everything like that, where he was kind of in the same way, where he was saying very, ignorant things about, different people of different like backgrounds and races and stuff like that. And it was giving, kind of a platform to, other bigoted people to do it. So I mean, I get his point there, it did do that with Kanye, because there are a lot of Kanye fans that are very impressionable, very follow cult-like. Like I said, I'm a huge Kanye fan, but it's like, I'm not a person that's going to be like, that was right. Because no, I mean, obviously it's like, I don't think any of that is right. And it's really weird. And if you follow, I think honestly, if you're a part of stan culture and you follow every word that the artist that you stan is to the T of basically where you don't even have your own thought process and you don't know what's right or wrong. You just think whatever they say is right or wrong, then you're too far gone. And you got to kind of take a step back and step to reality, touch grass, as they say, because you shouldn't be that. You have to be your own person. You have to know what is right or wrong. Like I said, luckily it's like, I'm not, like I said, I have artists that I really like a lot, kind of being one of them, but I do, I obviously like all the anti-Semite stuff and, everything you said, about, Jewish people back, the past few years have been, terrible and should not be followed and should not be like spread and stuff like that. Luckily, it doesn't seem like he's been on that recently, but it wasn't that long ago, and it's like, yeah, I mean, realistically, if you don't want to forgive him, you don't have to forgive him. If you don't want to listen to the music, you don't gotta listen to the music. I completely understand. It's the same type of things. When it came to people, like people stopped listening to R. Kelly, which I mean, for good God, obvious and good reasons, you should not be listening to him. Why some people don't listen to Doja Cat. Why some people. There's a lot of people that stop listening. Chris Brown, I guess, is another one. People stopped listening to Chris Brown after his whole situation back in the day. And that's the thing about being human. You have a right and a choice to do this. And I mean, even like Fantano, he has a right and a choice to not review this. I said the only thing I disagreed with was that I think him saying, oh, well, me not reviewing this isn't going to be an endorsement to this album, which I mean, it is, because you're talking about the album, so it's endorsing the album still. It's still pushing it. It's putting light on it. It's definitely putting more light on it because he has such an opposite take on it versus from what it seems the general pop is. The general pop seems to like this album. I've definitely seen people dislike it, but it's like I've seen more people like it than dislike it. And I feel like him talking, even bringing the light and having any type of spotlight, and the following that he has, it pushes other people into the wanting to reach out and listen to this music. Even people that, because he's gone viral on Twitter and everything and TikTok, so it's like even people that don't listen to Kanye are probably like, maybe I should go ahead and listen to this. So I don't know, like I said, that's my biggest thing and my biggest thing on like why he shouldn't have. It's like if he didn't like it and he didn't want to review it, he probably just shouldn't have even touched it. Especially when we do know he did listen to at least some of it on, or probably even all of it on his streams. So, I mean, yeah, it's like you're still there.
Not without help from someone who was willing to tell him no, but he spent this same period of time pushing away anybody who could possibly do that at this point, especially his wife, who he has now replaced with somebody who he just like kind of parades around like she's a naked body with no personality, opinion, or voice. Something that on some level I think he's weirdly proud of, as on the very lyrics to this record, he calls her just a reference, which is maybe one of the grossest and most
that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Woman on any of his songs, and it's being directed at his wife. So this trajectory Kanye has been on as of late has left him with an interesting mix of fans. One, hateful psychos that actually agree with some of the stuff that he's been saying and are actually in my Twitter mentions theorizing that I'm a Jew, and that's the reason I don't like his recent music. Two, anonymous nihilistic teenagers that don't really think anything he says or does us has any greater consequence in the world, and are most likely bored and lonely and will just defend Kanye because watching him unravel is more entertaining than most things, and I guess brings some kind of meaning to their otherwise meaningless lives. And 3, cultish weirdos who parasocially obsess over
there's a lot of these. I agree with that. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of all three, but that's the really bad one.
Fan base to some
yeah,
degree,
that's the bad
one.
Ones.
They were at least mixed in with genuine hip-hop heads. Now, these 3 types of people, and there is overlap between them in Kanye's fan base, don't want to hear anything critical about him at all, ever. They've openly rejected any good faith effort I've made to make them aware of Kanye's downward spiral into Nazi adjacent rhetoric and now imagery in the promotion of this record. The point is, there's no hope of having
that is one thing. Another thing I want to bring up, because I saw, JPEG. I do know he's a big JPEG fan. I don't know if he's spoken on it or anything, but I know. Do you kind of feel the same way about JPEG Mafia, working with Kanye? Do you feel like, he's kind of lowered himself and he might be, going back? Because obviously we know, you listen to JPEG Mafia, he's very anti-fascism, very anti-Nazi, even calls out some of the, even calls out the band that Burzum that Kanye was wearing in that picture of them that also Fantano reviewed and stuff like that. So do you also do you still have that smoke, or is it just more so, is it Kanye is kind of getting more of it because he's outspoken and saying things and like, actually like saying the hurtful things and, and being like the asshole in the situation? Do you think JPEG Mafia is also an asshole because he's, surrounding himself with somebody like that? Even though it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like if you kind of give JPEG Mafia a pass, then it's kind of weird. But at the end of the day, he isn't the one out here spewing, hateful mess. So it's like, I get it. But it's like, when if you're associating yourself with somebody who's hateful, you might have a little bit of hate in you. You might not, but you might have a little bit of hate in you.
Conversation with somebody who is like deep into the Kanye fandom at this point. People who literally think anything and everything he does is great and will write off any bit of dissent as just being biased and unfair to him, as if he's Jesus Christ and can do no wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no convincing them, which I will
turn that
say
bitch
is
into
also
Chris.
the case for people who have left the Kanye reservation over the past several years, because there are a fair share of people who are validly pissed off about everything Kanye's been saying and doing recently and feel like it's totally beyond the pale. And even if this record was somehow good, what am I supposed to do? Tell the Jews in my audience, "Oh, come on, man, he didn't mean it. It's not so bad. He's just a little crazy, that's all." Especially since he's not doing anything to gain forgiveness. He is very apparently not sorry for anything he's been saying or doing. And the apologies he has given aren't worth a lick of shit, because he'll think nothing of saying Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay, sponsor that, not too long after. Now, I
can't believe he didn't say that. Never mind, he didn't say that.
Here, separate the art from the artist. Come on now. You can't separate this crap from the music because it's in the music. Look at the lyrics. Read these words. They have meaning.
I guess I do gotta take back that he wasn't on this bullshit still, because yeah, he does. He does stay. I mean, I obviously remember the "How am I anti-Semitic? I just fucked a Jewish bitch" line, but let me see. Crazy bipolar. So that's King, and I'm still a king. And then I just came through and just blackout. Keep it. If you, I'm not saying that, but okay. I don't know what song that was, but this is definitely King. The top one's King, and then that's Vultures. I don't know what song this is.
And they are saying things that are not good or normal. You would have to expect me to separate my brain from my skull if you think I'm just going to ignore it. I think this comment here pretty much sums things up. We don't care as long as the album is good. His personality and what he says doesn't matter to me. I only care about the music. How do you penetrate
There are a lot of people that are like this, though.
Self-imposed ignorance? This person is not listening to Kanye. He's not listening to anything I or anyone has to say about Kanye. And this comment was posted after the album was released, so he's apparently not even listening to the content of the music that he supposedly cares so much about. So this argument about
no, because I think in that sense, that guy, I mean, like I said, it's obviously you shouldn't be that way, but I think more so in the sense of he's saying we don't care like his thoughts and like who he is. If the music sounds good, the music sounds good. That's what I take from that. I'm not taking it as, oh, it's not in the music, because obviously it is in the music, and it's like, but yeah.
Care about the music can't possibly be true, especially since the music too is shit. The song "Paid" is
No,
one of the most
the music's not
unintentionally
shit.
hilarious tracks I think
Paid's a
Kanye's
great
ever
song.
put out. It's just a crappier version of Fade. Why wouldn't you just listen to Fade? You'd have to be delusional.
That's not true. It doesn't even sound like Fade.
Trash ass.
Besides rhyming with Paid,
Ty Dolla $ign on it is just amazing. Saying that he's just here to get paid.
I'm just here to get paid.
At least he's honest. Then Back to Me with that Jay and Silent Bob chorus has to be one of the dumbest things I've heard on any Kanye album ever. I feel like I'm being punked. But naked, beautiful, big titty bitches.
I don't give a fuck what he says. That shit is so goddamn. It's been in my head. I just say that shit randomly. It's like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But that shit's in my head. Beautiful big titty butt naked women just don't fall out of the sky. You know, like, come on now, like, it's beautiful.
Fly into the sky, you know. At least Freddie
it's so
somehow
beautiful.
made it flow. But yeah, that dude is as good as he is at rapping. He cannot save this track. Then Hood Rat has maybe one of the most excruciatingly bad instrumentals on any Kanye album ever. The mix is a mess, and God, those repetitions of Hood Rat, Hood Rat, Hood Rat, Hood Rat. I mean, I guess it kind of drowns out all the other stuff about the track. So that's kind of a silver lining. But almost none of that matters because there is so little to praise with this record. And if Kanye's delusional fans are not hearing that this record is awful on its face as they just kind of listen to it by themselves, nothing I'm going to say is going to convince them. But if you really want a general assessment of this thing, it sounds like a slightly more finished Donda 2. Somehow Jesus is King had more songs on it that sounded more cohesive, well.
I don't know. That's a take. Especially when, you know, you trashed Donda 2. I do know that. You trashed Donda 2, and I mean, I don't know what he said about Jesus is King, but no, I don't think this is better than Jesus. I don't think Jesus is King is better than this. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of a now it's kind of seeming like it's coming from hate and bias. Now I feel like, you know, he's just talking crazy. He had great points, and now it's kind of a little crazy.
Put together, which is saying something because that was previously Kanye's shortest, messiest, most unhinged and crappy record yet, and somehow this surpassed it, and at least in my mind has achieved the status of being Kanye's worst album. And given that the sequel tends to be a step down from the original in Kanye's case most of the time, the rest of the Vultures series from this point is not looking good. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you. Bye.
All right, Mr. Fantano. I mean, you know, like I said, you could have an opinion. It did kind of seem a little bit of bias at the end there. It didn't really seem like something that was coming from, you know, out of a place of genuine thought. Kind of see, because I mean, you know, you did talk about, you know, the fans are coming at you and all that, and maybe it does kind of seem like you might have made this out of something of just to kind of piss off the fans some more. And I mean, you're you, dude. You can do what you want to do, but to say that, I don't know, to say like Donda 2 and Jesus is King is better pieces, you know, of music than this, you know, Jesus is King is more cohesive and all that. It's a little crazy. Like I said, you don't have to like the album. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the most cohesive. This is not, you know, the best Kanye project, but in my eyes, I think it's really good. It's one of the better ones in a while. I'd put it over the last 3 albums. The only one I wouldn't put over in that spectrum would be Kids See Ghosts, because that's just because I mean I love Kids See Ghosts, but I do think it's better than Donda. I do think it's better than Jesus King. I do think it's better than Donda 2. I think it's better than Ye. But that's just my genuine opinion. I'm not sure if I think it's better than, I don't know. I might think it's better than Life of Pablo. That's because I don't really go back to Life. I gotta listen to Life of Pablo again, honestly, to be completely honest. Don't crucify me for that take, but I haven't listened to it really, and like in its fully, it has really high highs, but its lows are kind of But like I said, no, you if you don't like the album, you don't like the album. Kanye obviously isn't the same rapper as he used to be. I think Burn and Problematic is probably his best rapping he's had in a long time. Since you know he first started rapping, but to sit here and say the music doesn't sound good, like I guess like even the production is like, if you just listen to production, the production is phenomenal on this project, probably some of the best in a long time. But like I said, rapping wise, it's I can understand that. I think Ty does do well on the album, and I think the features do great. I think Cardi did his thing. I think Travis does his thing. I think Freddie definitely did his thing. Rich the Kid, India Love at the end of I think it's the second song, but I forgot the name of it. But India Love, I think it's a good project overall. But like I said, my biggest takes are, he had good points. Fantano had good points, about obviously, he does. I mean, like I said, I was wrong, because I kind of said he wasn't doing it anymore, but it is in the music, and it definitely is in the music. It definitely still is in the music, so he's kind of. It's not like he's coming, at Jewish people are being anti-Semitic, but he's more so. It seems like mocking it, so I can see that as like being like, oh, I got this, I have this. How could I be anti-Semitic? I fucked a Jewish bitch, like it's mocking. So it's like I can see that, and then but I do think, like I said, I think the biggest hypocritical thing is saying, oh, I'm not going to push the album, but if you're doing a whole review, an unreview of it, I mean, this is basically a review. You're just saying you hate the album, you think it's trash. I mean, if you're saying that, then it's kind of like I said, it's coming from a bias and of you just being like, because you don't like him as a person, and then you don't like how his fans are being, basically. So it's like it does kind of have a little bit of bias in it, but and then like I said, you definitely are pushing the album as well. You're pushing the album just by just doing this video with your platform and everything. You're pushing the album. More people are gonna find this album and they're gonna listen to it. Realistically, even hateful people, bigoted people are probably gonna be like, oh, they don't like who? Okay, Kanye, maybe you got a fan. And realistically, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to bring those people to the forefront, to the to the fan base, because that's not what we want in music. We don't want people like that in music. But like I said, did you like the album? Did you love the album? Did you hate the album? Do you hate Kanye? Do you love Kanye? Let me know down below. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time on Series X. Peace.